Okay, first real welding project. I got some argon, but I'm probably not going to use that right away. I got some argon and I got some mild steel filler rods to give the Tega test. I got some plate, some 1/4 inch thick plate steel. I had them cut it into 2 pieces because it's just too heavy to move around by yourself. Even this is like 200 pounds. That was not easy to get in here. But anyways, the plan is make a little welding bench. I'll cut this in half. That'll be like the top and the bottom layer level. I might just cut it in half and put the top. I'm thinking of potentially using just some expanded metal for the bottom, but we'll see. I might want to add in that second level, or at least put a couple of shelves in or something and then save the rest. And then this, just because I wanted to buy the whole sheet, I'll figure out something else to do with that, but it's decently thick, 1/4 inch thick. So it'll be more than thick enough for someone's first welding table. But yeah, so for now I'm going to cut this in half. I'll use an angle grinder for that. And I got some 7018 welding rod, 332, but that's more than enough for this. Yeah, I'm going to get started. I also just got myself another little upgrade. One of the few tools I don't already have. Makita angle grinder. Just got a corded one. Battery angle grinders I find don't last very long. This one is variable speed. That'll come in handy for when you want to wire brush some aluminum. You can slow it right down and clean up your aluminum with a wire brush or wire wheel. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to use to chop that in half. At least maybe a few years from now, but I'll get a plasma, I think, at some point. But yeah, that's what I'll use for now. I just have it down on the floor now because my current benches aren't exactly fireproof, but I picked it up off the floor with the angle iron that I'll be using to build the rest of the welding bench. So yeah, for now I'm just going to cut it in half and I'll weld some legs on, make it look more like a welding bench, make it nice and sturdy, and then see what it looks like after that, see if I'm happy with it. And since we're getting a little bit more serious with tools, using an angle grinder now instead of that little Dremel tool, put on some gloves. And I also have this full face respirator. I don't have a face shield, but you don't necessarily need a respirator to cut mild steel, but that's what I have, so I'm going to use this full face respirator instead of a face shield. 2 feet feels like a good length. Okay, that took a decent amount of effort, but there's my pile of iron dust. Yeah, cut in half. Okay, I'm gonna decide what height I want it to be. I'll cut these angle irons for the legs, and yeah, we'll get moving on that part. I do like the height of this bench, but it's not quite 3 feet, so let's just call it 3 feet even, and we'll cut these angles to 3 feet, 4 of them. most important part is going to be that all the legs are the same length, so just make sure you know where you're cutting. Those are all cut. Pretty good. I'll probably just hit them with the grinder a little bit, make sure they're all exactly the same. I'll do a bit of a layout on the bottom here. I want the feet almost as wide as I can get them. I'll put them in just a little bit because I want to be able to get a clamp on the edge so I can clamp steel to the table. And yeah, so I'll put them in a little bit. I might go, I have to think about it, but what if I do it like this? So that's inside from the corner a little bit. I could clamp on the corners too, maybe. Or should I just go classic? Go on the inside like this. Although if I did these this way, like this, and then I do a couple pieces lengthwise, like that. We'll see maybe how rigid it is without that. But if I do it like that, that gives me that much more room to put a clamp on while being able to bring it close to the edge to make it nice and sturdy. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with something like this. And I'm gonna put everything in. I'll cut these angles. I'll add these onto the side, just a little place to hang things, hang your grinder, hang your stinger, hang whatever, just off the side of the table. I'll put those like halfway down. I'll cut them, I'll put the corners 1.5 inches in everywhere. I'll cut these to fit in between, so it'll give me 1.5 inch lip all the way around, so I could put a clamp on it, and it'll also give me another 2 inches of just a little raise, so it'll be 3.5 inches in, and then that's where that flange will sit. I'll cut up a couple pieces and just make sure I like it before I start welding things together. Also, the little clamp on this ring light broke, so I'm trying to glue it back together. Just holding it out. These little prongs retract into this on a spring, and this just came undone, broke. So I'm trying to glue it back on. Let's see if that works. Yeah, okay, I'm pretty happy with that idea. I'll position everything. All I did to set that distance was set my little tri-square up to 1.5 inches and marked 1.5 inches all the way along. Next thing I'll do, I'll get 2 tri-squares. I'm going to set them just flush to the edge here. I'll put them like this, just that square on the angle iron, and I'll give the welder its maiden voyage. My poor Miller lens is absolutely beat up, so I'm going to try to clean it up and then throw a fresh one on, pop the lid open, and yeah, try to make it a little nicer. That's a little better. Now unfortunately I'm going to need both hands, and this is out of commission for a little while I let that glue dry, so not going to get any live action welding shots, but that's okay. I'll show you what it looks like after. Okay, I'm gonna try the auto set on this thing. So I've got 332/70/18 rod, Got 1/8 material. It says 95 amps. That seems about right. So we'll try it. I've got my 2 tri-squares set up. See, we're pretty good this way. Pretty good this way. Not terrible this way, not perfect. And not too bad this way. So it needs to go a little bit this way and a decent amount that way. So I'm not fighting my tack. All I'm gonna do is tack the back corner here, and that'll let me push it that way and this way while holding it in place a bit better. Yeah, all right, first tack with the new welder. So all I gotta do now is push it this way just a little bit, and then I'll tack that corner. And the other side actually looks pretty good now. I think the tack pulled it. It wasn't bad, but the tack pulled it just enough. Second tack with the welder. Yeah, looks good. That side looking good. Nice. I'll just throw a couple more little stitch welds on that, and then I'll do another side, another corner, another corner, another corner. I don't know if I want to just go for it, start welding them out, or maybe tack everything in and then start welding everything out. We'll see. I do kind of want to just give the welder a whirl too, so I don't know, maybe I'll stitch weld this for now and then get some more legs in. That one there was the same as that one, but now this one, you can see the gap's actually at the bottom. So it has to go this way a little bit. The other side's pretty good, so I'll put a tack here. That'll let me bend it this way and that way potentially if I need it. But I don't have to go that way or that way. Okay, pretty happy with that. I'm actually pretty happy with how sturdy everything is already too. I might even, I don't think I'm gonna put these ones in here. I will do the longest ones just to make sure the table's not folding in the middle a little bit. But I'll do those. I'll do the long ones right up against the table. And then these ones, I think I'll just put them halfway just for hanging things on, the other way around. So the one flat side will be on the outside of these legs. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I'll cut these longer pieces to go in between here. And then I'll probably flip the table and do those other ones with it right way up, just so I can see what the height's gonna look like. Yeah, and then I can get to, well, before I flip it over, I'll do some welding. I'll have to clean it all up. I didn't get the mill scale off just to tack it, but I will clean up the mill scale before I weld it. Got a nice tight fit there. Both sides, looks good. I'll have to clean up my tacks a little bit to make sure it sits down nice and flat. So what I probably should do is put a little bit more weld on the other leg. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Grind out the little bit of weld, tack welds on this side, just so that sits down nice and flat. Same with that side. Copy and paste on that side. Okay, those are fit up pretty good, tacked in. I think that's gonna be it for today. It's getting a little late. And I also want to get proper fan set up and whatever before I really start going nuts welding. Tacking is okay, but when I'm welding away, I want to get some airflow here. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. The auto settings on the Miller 220 here. 332 rod, and these are, it's 1/8 to 1/4 inch. Like this is 1/4 inch, but these are 1/8. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty happy with it. I'll really see how it is when I weld it all out tomorrow. But yeah, for today, pretty happy. Bye.